Hello, welcome to Pumpkin Canine Fashions. I have paw-picked my new line of dog beds. Each one delivers bold, stylish looks that make your pup stand out from the pack. With thoughtfully designed apparel and accessories, my people bring personality and flair to every tail wag. Go ahead, treat your pup to one today. Order now at pumpkincaninefashion.com. That's pumpkincaninefashion.com.
Hello, world. This is Talkin Live.
Now, let's get ready. You are Talkin Live with Lamar Bearden.
Hello, world, again. We're glad you tuned in. We hope you're going to enjoy the show today. I'm going to enjoy it. You know how I'm going to enjoy it? I'm going to talk about McDonnie, up in New York. I mean, they are desperate. I mean, they are out of their stupid mind to think that this guy can open grocery stores and all that and give away food. Now, if it was Russia or if it was North Korea, you probably wouldn't get no food. Now, this guy is one idiot. But then again, he ain't an idiot. He just on there trying to get to be mayor because he has plenty of idiots voting for him. You know, I'd rather have anybody just about it as him as a mayor if I lived in New York. You know, like just like Buck on sing that song. Oh, I wouldn't live in New York City if you give me the whole dang thing. Town. Anyway, I just got through loading trucks, so I'm kind of slowed up today, and then I'm kind of motivated to do a show, but we don't usually do a show this late. But again, and we got this woman in Georgia. She's wanting to run for governor of Georgia, and of course she's a Muslim, which that's all right, but she leans toward communism and leans toward the wrong thing, see. And probably she just got on a boat somewhere and been over here a few years, so she's going to help destroy the country. AOC, I mean, and just all of them. And they all got voted in, but people, I don't understand you people out there. And sometimes when you vote Republican, I don't understand you in certain ways, but I am a Republican. I do stand by Donald Trump. Now, I think he's cutting himself thin with the soldiers by going into different cities. I think he should do one city at a time or maybe two at a time. I think he shouldn't be taking our guard and scatter them all over the country. Just for crime. You ain't going to stop crime. Crime's going to always be here. It's just going to be more in one place than it is another, and less in another place than it is another. You're not going to stop crime, because there's a demand for people to expect what somebody else worked for belongs to them. That's what it is. And that, Google and YouTube and all these different, and Microsoft, why are they backing someone as communism? It's because they want to be in control just like everybody else does. And I'm so sad and sorry that I have to look at the news and see Omar and all these different things that come on. I call them things because they're not Americans. They're just things that come on and try to turn our country around toward them. And they've left a country that's nothing but a crap hole. And they come over here and they want to make this a crap hole. That's what it is. ALC, Puerto Rico, they don't even have lights half the time. And I just said this on a show the other day. They don't even have lights. They don't have nothing over there. I've been over there. My ex-wife's a Puerto Rican. I'm ashamed to say that she was Puerto Rican, but, you know, I do know this, she'd be smarter than AOC. I know for sure she would be smarter than her. But
get this on. So who is their responsibility down there for Puerto Rico for electricity? Is it us?
it's the government, but they're just like all the other governments. They take the money. They get grants down there. I know a guy was building backup power supplies and selling them down there because people didn't have electricity before the hurricanes and after the hurricanes, because there's no organization over there.
Seems like one nuclear plant could cover the whole island and more of the whole Caribbean. We've got great success with the nuclear plants, and we're building more here. The TVA is building some giant ones and shutting some old ones down, and it's been a great for us in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, I bid on one of their, they had copper wire in that sucker up there, and what's that, where the nuclear plant is up there?
We got a bunch. Sequoia, Watts Bar.
They had copper wire big around as your head in that building up there they tore down.
Yeah.
They had these turbos. It weighed 1 million pounds. I mean, it was a big job. I bid on some of it, but I didn't get it. The company got the contract, was taking, of course, all the copper. This was years ago. I give them the idea to do that. I'm not bragging, but I really did talk to them about doing that, tearing them places down instead of letting them sit. And they got it, and I didn't even get a contract. I know a lot of people. And I was back when I was in the recycling business big time. But getting back to the issue we're in today, this guy in New York is going to supposedly win the election.
Yes.
And was he born here? I don't know. I didn't look at it. Was he born here?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's sad.
And Mayor Adams just came out and supported, what's his face? Como.
Yeah, I'd rather say Como. I prefer the guy that say
Curtis
Gardening of Joel.
Yeah.
I prefer him over all of them, but I'd settle for the late governor. He was late being a governor. So it's just disturbing to know that you have so many people out there backing somebody like that. I'd like to tell you, everybody, I'd like to get like this. I'd like to do a show and say, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll finance your home, I'll give you a home free and all that. And would you vote for me? And I can't afford all that. Would you vote for me? But see, he's depending on the tax money. It just blows my mind the way it's going down, how that it's going on in New York. It's just mind-boggling, as they say. I've been invited to New York, China, and places like that, but I like being home, near home. And see, if I kick the bucket, they won't have to ship me so far. I'll be right. I live close to a funeral graveyard. I might die. I don't know why I said that, but I prefer being around close to home. I used to go to Atlanta, Florida. I used to go to Boca Raton in my house down there at least 2 or 3 times a month, and then sometimes I go down there and stay a month or so. But I don't like to go to a city where there's so much crime and there's so much hate. Of course, back then, when I done all that, man, I would go down to Atlanta and stop at a gas station. There'd be a lot of blacks there. They was nice to me, real friendly. But now you can't even get out there without because some screwed up in the head sucker wants to blow your brains out now because of your politics. You can't even sell advertising to some people because of your politics. I mean, it's so divided. It's so unbelievable that America is so undivided. And it all started, and I have to say it all started with black people complaining about how the white people has mistreated them. But I do know that I've seen a lot of black people that are mistreated, put in prison for no reason. But see, it's been pounded into their head from their childhood up to hate white people because what happened 150 years ago or what some media said, it's just been pounded in their head and the media's pounded in people's head. There's tons and tons of white people would help a black person or any other race if they see them in need. There's tons of them. But you can't tell people that. You can't tell people nothing no more. It's like the end of time. They don't believe there's an end of time coming. And then I hear crazy things are going on, people talking so crazy. And I ask myself, how can you get so stupid and ignorant concerning your country that you was born in and you was raised in and you've seen the good times? We sing, and I'm going to say it, when Clinton was president, we had, I think our Clinton was great. And out of all the things Clinton might have done, there was a great, there was great ways to make money and stuff like that. Now, everybody's, I used to go to companies, try to get business and get it. Now people are doing everything they can to turn what they got into money. I mean, it's getting to be bad. And you can't blame it on Donald Trump. You blame it on Biden and you blame it on Obama. Because they brought all these people. You can't even blame Obama as much as you can Biden. Obama never opened the border that I know of wide open, just turned his head and said, everybody come on over. But, it's just mind-boggling that people can be so ignorant from a promise. Now, I think Donald Trump should keep some of the soldiers and the guard back for other reasons. I think that he should kind of chill on putting too many guards in too many cities. But if it's all about deporting people, I think each city that stands up for and stand up for giving money and health care to undocumented immigrants, I think that city, the ones protecting the illegal aliens, they are aliens, they should be cut off from the government. They should not be given any help whatsoever for nobody or for any purpose in any city that will defend the illegal aliens. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wish we cut off California and see them come crying back, because if we could just cut them off, make them acknowledge the seriousness of it, they change their tune right away and not listen to Gavin.
Yeah, but so you got, you might have, and Donnie, I can say his name all the time, but now I can't. But the guy in New York, he is kind of the same as Newsom to me. I mean, I just completely lost confidence in any Democrat in the White House or any Democrat in Senate or House. I just lost my respect for those people, for what they're trying to do to this country. And it's all about, Jeff, it's all about votes. It ain't about they can't care. It's about votes. They want to get these people believing a lie and be damned. That's what the Bible said. And that's what they're doing. They're believing a lie and be damned, because when they go to the food stamp office and there's no more food stamps, and I understand there's 40 million people on food stamps. I can understand the elderly getting food stamps. But these guys, I've seen some guys on Fox whining. I think it was like Jerry, what was his name? A singer. Played Bandit and Bandit. Jerry Reed.
Oh.
You remember that song? He said, they're going to cut my welfare off. How am I going to pay for my Cadillac? I mean, that's the way they act. Like they can't get out and go to work and make a good living. They just don't want to work. These guys are women. Oh, I'm going to starve to death. I'm going to starve to death. Well, can't you get up and move around, sir? Well, yeah. We'll go to a church. They'll help you out. Most of the time, a lot of churches will help you out. But the fact is, you want to lay around. It's unhealthy. You want to lay around, get fat, drink beer, snort cocaine, smoke a doobie, do fentanyl, do anything that'll make you high and not face the reality. That's what you want to do. And draw a check. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to sit around and watch TV and look at a rich man and say, oh, he don't deserve that money. If you make a lot of money, that's jobs for other people. That's the way I look at it. Without the rich, there are not going to be no people that are poor or being able to work. Without the poor, the rich is not going to get rich. Richer, let's put it that way.
I heard an interesting stat the other day that there's only 90 billionaires in the country, and you may get a lot of money from them, but it's got to be not a big portion of everything we get.
What everybody needs to do, hey, I work, I pay Social Security, I'm 77-year-old. What's wrong with you sitting there on the couch drinking Old Milwaukee?
Oh, gross.
They're drinking Old Milwaukee, looking for a high.
I don't even know if they still make that.
Yeah, I think my brother still drinks it. I really do. Black Label, you remember Black Label?
Yeah.
Slits.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
The yuppies, it was a trend to drink all the old nasty beers there for a while.
Yeah, floating rats. I heard there's rats in there. In that beer. And heard the Spanish for Corona, I heard that the Spanish urinated in the vats of beer. But we hear all kinds of things, don't make it true. And, Heineken's was bought out by Budweiser, wasn't it?
Yes.
And
Anheuser-Busch.
I used to drink Budweiser. I probably drank it all. They used to have a drink called Pfeiffer. You go in there, it's a big old bottle, and it's about a quart and a half. And you take the bottle back and get credit. That's been my brother-in-law when he was young, when I first met his sister, and back then, me and him used to do that. That was 100 years ago, you know. But, he actually, Jeff, I had a bicycle, and he rode on it, and I pedaled him around there, and he'd go on there and get the beer. I bought beer when I was 13-year-old. I know a lot of bootleggers back in the days. I used to sell them whiskey bottles for 10 cents a piece. I'd go down the road and pick all that. See, I've been there, so you people out there, you think you've had it rough. I'm going to tell you something. I've been down there. I've been with no lights. I've been with no water. I had no home to live in a cheap apartment, and I made it. You can too if you get off your sorry rear end. I know about ghetto life, so don't tell me about it. I lived it. And I hate to hear that whining from everybody. That's whites and blacks and whatever. Anybody that's standing in line for a handout. And that's the only reason you're voting for Democrats, because you know they're going to give away the country. What are you going to do when it's giveaway? Now, most of you people don't believe in the mark of the beast, right? Well, I believe in the mark of the beast. There's beasts in that group up there in the Democratic Party. They sit in that Congress and all that, and Senate, and they raise up and they say, oh, I can do this. We got to do this because, you know, we got the power. That's the devil in them. They're only breathing because God give them breath. Oh, you atheists, you ain't breathing because you're just naturally breathing. You're breathing because God gave you the breath. But there ain't no sense. You know, today I used to get off. I had to stay over and help unload a truck. I enjoy working. I used to trim trees. I used to do asphalt. I worked in janitorial business. I've worked in all kinds of different businesses. And that's why I can do a conversation about certain businesses. I know what it's like to do without, my friend. And I'll tell you what, when I straighten myself up, I haven't done without no more. When I quit my drinking and living like hell, and I quit depending on somebody else, or I didn't depend on the government because I couldn't get that from them. I wasn't lucky enough to get anything from them. Except they was after me for paying taxes every year. And that's what we do. But what my point is, if you're living in a shack, you might be there because of your own fault, and then sometimes it ain't your fault. But see, I know I've lived in this rotten world for the corrupt, lying, killing, stealing, doing all that world. I've lived in this world. I know what's going on out there. Some people, they talk about organized crime, about what's going on. I know what goes on there. I've been there. I've seen it all. You know, I was watching a TikTok spot. It was how the Germans took American soldiers, put them in a place and locked them in and poured gas in there and set them afire. Mostly Jews. And the Japanese done the same thing. They would take and cut them up. They'd be in a facility where, you know, that they couldn't eat because they had nothing. They had to eat one another because when the other died, they eat them. This world's a wicked world, man. If you don't want to stand up for what's right, you're going to wind up losing everything, including your soul. And I hate to hear, I got someone I know whines because somebody else is getting this and they ain't getting it. Well, get out as a relative. You get off your rear end, get out there and go to work. You can have the stuff too. You know, there's only so much we can do in this world. And there's one thing we got to do. Stand for what is right. That's the one thing we got to do. And if you can't take your children, having a bunch of children, one right after another, and you just get that welfare check, have yourself fixed. You men, you women, you can't afford a bunch of kids, get fixed. It's more wrong to have a bunch of kids you can't take care of. That's what the government ought to do to some of you people, collect welfare, having a kid every month. You need to be fixed because you don't have no care about life and the life you bring in this world. God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on all Talkin Live Show presentations are those of the host and their guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Talkin Live TV broadcast studio, EPB Fiber Optics, or by this network or its management.
Before drones and digital streams, there were boots on the ground and cameras in the wild. Every Saturday evening starting at 5 p.m., journey back with the pioneers who filmed nature's first close-up shots. Real explorers. Timeless stories that bring the beauty and wonder of the natural world into your home. All evening long, every Saturday. Watch Echoes of the Wild, only on Timeless Classics TV.
Stand out with our exclusive backpack, proudly showcasing the one-of-a-kind Lamar Fashions logo, blending style and distinction into every design. Available in white or black, our backpack is lightweight and comfortable for your optimal comfort and shoulder fit. The main pocket inside can store daily necessities and contains a protective sleeve to hold your laptop along with interior pockets for storing valuables. With its classic shape, this backpack is perfect for business travel, laptop soft case, or luggage bag for short trips, and will make a great gift for any age group. The two exterior side pockets can hold your water bottles or your mobile phone. Order yours today in black or white at surplusproductsforyou.com. That's surplusproductsforyou.com.